Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how to cut and sew a stylish three-part corset with a Basque waistline and also gathers. So if this is something you like, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. So let's dive right into today's video. So to start, here is my pattern which I've already cut out in our previous video, and I added ½ inch all the way around at the cup area. So on the side I cut this on fold and I added ½ inch all the way around, and also by the side. The only difference is that I didn't add at the ending part of the side because we did that in the cutting tutorial where we added our sewing allowance by the side. So I'll go ahead and open it up and I'll place it this way, matching each other. So you can decide to place your pattern together and cut your material without having joining on it. So this is what I have, and for this I'll be ironing an stay at the back, and this is a gum stay which I'll be ironing on the lining part of the dress. This is just to give the dress stability. So after ironing, I'll just go ahead and place and stitch with ½ inch and also repeat it at the other side, but I'll be doing this after ironing the stay on it. So next we'll be working on the cup part of this. So I'll be using a wadding for it. You can also use an already made cup or a bra foam. So on each part I cut out 2 pieces, and for cutting out I'll be cutting the bra foam 2 pieces for each part of the cup, because this is a light wadding, so I want to make it a bit thick. So if you're using a thicker wadding, you can just cut 1 piece, or if you're using bra foam, you can cut 1 piece. So if you're using an already made cup, you're going to follow all the process that I'm going to do, but the only difference is after stitching your cup, you're going to be using your hemming gum, or going to be using glue, or you're going to be stitching down your already made cup, to the material, that is the cup area of the corset. So I'll just go ahead and cut this out, and I'll also cut out the rest of the cup. So at the upper part of the cup, I will be merging it up and I will be cutting it as 1 piece. So this is the reason why we are calling it a 3-part corset, because after you're done cutting, you'll be getting 3 pieces for each part of your cup. After cutting, you're going to notch the midpoint of this cup. That is where one part of the cup meets the other. Remember that you merged up the cup at the upper part to get 1 cup. So at the center point where it meets, go ahead to notch it. It is very important when you're joining your cup. So after placing it, this is what I have. Now I'll be placing my cup and I'll be adding wadding on it. So I forgot to also say that you're going to also notch your cup. That is the part that will be meeting the other side of your cup. You're going to notch it, and you're also going to notch the other side. This will help you know the part that you're meant to place, or the part you're meant to join. So I'll just go ahead and place my cup. If you notice, I'm placing 2 wadding on one side because I'm using a light wadding, and I want to double it to give it a thicker or stronger effect. So now I'll also repeat this at the other side of my cup. I'll go ahead and place, and this is what I have on this side. So next I will be ironing this down. So there's a shiny part on your wadding, that is where we'll be facing your main fabric. So I'll just go ahead, after ironing it, I'll be stitching with ½ inch. So now I've gone ahead to iron it, and I stitched it down with ½ inch. So here is that midpoint I spoke about. Go ahead to place the notch part at the center of the cup. So now you're going to be stitching with ½ inch all the way, starting from one side of the cup to the other side of the cup. So you're also going to repeat this for your other side of your cup and the lining piece. So this is what I have after I'm done joining. So now I'll go ahead to trim out the excess wadding I have. So if you're using a wadding or you're using a bra foam, you're going to cut this out. But if you're using an already made cup, all you're going to do is iron an stay to your cup, and you're going to join it up with ½ inch, and later you're going to attach your already made cup. So if you don't know how to do that, I have few videos in my channel where I used an already made cup. You can go ahead to check out some of my corset tutorials. So now I'll go ahead to stitch down with ½ inch and then stitch the other side with 1/2 inch also. So at this point, I'll also go ahead and trim out the wording on that point. So after I'm done trimming out, this is what my cup looks like, and I'll also repeat this on the lining and on the other side of the cup. So next, we are going to work on the boning channels, and I'm going to be doing this at the back part of the dress. So now I'll just be creating 3 boning channels at the center, at the 2 sides of this dress. So after that, I cut out about 2 inches and I measured the length of the dress. So I'll place and stitch with 1/2 inch, and then I'll turn and top stitch. After I'm done doing that, I'll also go ahead to repeat this at the other side, place, sew and top stitch. So I'll also be showing you how I did that on the dress. So here is it. I'm done stitching on this part. I'm going to fold over and top stitch. So I'll also use that to create this other side. So now we're going to be attaching our cup to the main bodies. So I went ahead to trim out some excess because the fabric was actually pulling out. So now I'll place this, and I'll take the mid part of the cup and place at the mid part, or where I joined the body of the corset, and I'm going to go ahead to pin. So after I'm done pinning, this is what I have on my cup, and I'll go ahead to stitch it with 1/2 inch. So after I'm done stitching, this is what I have on this part. So I'll go ahead to repeat it on the other side of the corset. So here is the lining piece, and I've gone ahead also to join it just like we did for the main fabric. Now I'll fold this over a notch because I placed my pattern together while cutting this out. So I'll place the notch part on the joining on the cup, and I'll go ahead to pin this round. So while pinning, my cup is a lot bigger than the space I have on the body of the corset, so that is on the other side. What I'll do is just to go ahead to notch it, and after notching it, I'll go ahead to place this. So if you're having the same issue on your main fabric, you can also go ahead and use this same process to join it. So this is what I have, and I'll repeat it at the other side. So after I'm done joining my cup, this is what I have, and now I'll be turning this to with the lining. So for the neck piece, this is about 5 inches for the width, and then you measure what is okay for you from one side of your cup to the other side. You're going to pass it around your neck. So I made mine smaller because I don't want mine to be too big, and you're going to pin it down. You're going to pin it immediately after the joining at the center of your cup, that is at the lower part of your cup. Now I'm going to place my lining, and I'm going to go ahead to pin this all the way around, and I will be stitching with 1/2 inch. Anything I talk where you talk, I go do. Me, I know they see another girl for my visual. After that, I'll go ahead to stitch with 1/2 inch all the way round, and I'll be notching it and turning it to the right side. Moving over to my back pattern, this is one side of my back pattern. So remember when we were cutting it out, I said I forgot to trim out the 1 inch at the upper part, and I went ahead to do that. So now I made little fabrics that I'll be using to create loops for the back lacing bar area. So you can use about 2.5 inches long or 3 inches. So after this, I'll just go ahead and cut as many that I will be using for this dress. So first, you're going to mark 1/2 inch first, and from there you're going to take your measurements. So I'll be marking 1.5 inches, so you can use 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So here the space I have here is too small to mark 1.5 inches, and I marked 1 inch at 2 inches there. So I'll just go ahead to place this, and you'll be stitching with 1/2 inch to hold this down. So you're going to continue doing this to the end of your fabric, and after you're done pinning, For example, you're done pinning or you're done stitching it down, you're going to take this part and you're going to sew on it. So when I was ironing my gum stay on the lining, I mistakenly ironed on the wrong side, so I'll be correcting that later. But for now, you're going to be stitching with 1/2 inch all the way around. Now moving back to the front pattern, this is what I have. I'll just go ahead to notch it all the way around for it to relax very well. So at this point, if you haven't yet subscribed, please hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. If you have a question, leave it at the comment section. So I'm going to go ahead to flip this to the right side. So after I'm done turning this to the right side, this is what my corset looks like. And now we're going to go ahead to pass our boning. And while I was doing that, I did know that my phone was not recording, so I had to just bring out the boning to show you that I added boning to this part of my corset. So after you're done doing that, you're going to be attaching the back to the front part of this dress. So also after I was done turning the back, I went ahead to like run 1/2 inch after the loop at the back of the dress. So this side will help hold the lacing bar area after you're done lacing your dress. So after I'm done passing the boning, this is what I have on both sides. So now I'll go ahead to place and pin this down. So at this point, the sides of your dress should be matching because you're going to be shaping it out. So now we added 1.5 inches to our sewing allowance and we turned this out with 1/2 inch. So we'll be left with 1 inch, which you'll use to stitch the sides of your dress. So before marking that 1 inch, you want to go ahead to make sure that you measure what you have on your waistline. So remember, we took out 3 inches from the waistline, and my waistline is 28 minus 3 inches, we have 25. So we are going to be marking 25 inches here. So to mark that is that 25 inches divided by 2. What you're supposed to have is 12.5 inches left. Then you have your sewing allowance by the side. So now after minusing 12.5 from 15, because that's what we have on the waistline here, I have 2.5. I will divide that 2.5 into 2, mark, and then measure the 12.5 inches. So at this point, I'll just go ahead to mark the 1 inch at both sides, but going to the upper part, you will go in a bit by 1.5. This is to make sure that the bust area is tight or fitted when you are lacing the dress. So after this, I'll go ahead and stitch, and this is what I have. So I'll be bringing over the Ankara fabric, which is about 20 inches by 3 yards. So remember how we got this. The total length of the dress is 37 and our shoulder to waist is 17 inches. Taking that 17 out of 37, we have 20 inches remaining. So you can go ahead to hem the lower part. And now you're going to place your tape and measure what you have here. So if you notice, you have 21 inches. Normally you're supposed to have 25 because we took out 3 inches, but remember we have a lacing bar area that we took out 2 inches from on both sides. So that 25 inches, taking out 2 lacing bar areas of 2 inches at both sides, that's 4 inches taken out from the 25. So what you have left is that 21 inches. So now you're going to gather the waistline of your skirt, and remember I said notch the waistline of the skirt also. That is the midpoint. So you're going to get the midpoint of the skirt, you're going to notch it, and then gather your fabric at the upper part. So now, just like we calculated earlier, that 2 inches we took out for the lacing bar area, you'll be replacing it, and then you add 1 inch extra for your zipper allowance. So how did we get this again? Let's go over it. Our waistline, we took out 3 inches from it, making it 25 inches. So when we are cutting the back pattern, remember for the lacing bar area we went in by 2 inches. So that 25 inches, if you take out 2 inches at both sides, you'll be having 21 inches. So you're going to be making up for that 2 inches on both sides that you took out at the skirt part of the dress, so that you can attach a zipper to the back. So now you're going to measure out and create like a little gathers at this part. You're going to mark out 3 inches you're going to mark out 3 inches, and then from that 3 inches point, you're going to go ahead to note that point, and you're going to pin it on the waistline of the skirt, starting after that lacing bar area, and you're going to go ahead to pin the rest of your dress. And you're also going to repeat this at the other side. Now bring the notched part of the center, and you're going to pin the notched part on the fabric, and then you're going to gather the waistline of the skirt on the upper part of the corset, and you're going to be pinning it down and stitching with 1/2 inch. So you're also going to repeat this at the other side of the dress. So pin this down so that it will be easier for you to sew. Just like I said, you also repeat this at the other side, and you're going to be joining it with 1/2 inch. So after I'm done sewing, this is what I have, and next we'll be joining the lower part. So at this part, that excess that you have, you can just go ahead and fold it up or use a bias to hold it. Now you're going to measure about 8 inches for your zipper allowance, then you stitch with 1 inch all the way down, then go ahead to fold or weave the lower part of your dress. So after I'm done sewing, this is the final look of the dress. If you find this tutorial very interesting and educative, please don't forget to hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and join us in our next video.